So right now, as workers, we're trading our time for money. And when you enter into the capitalist class, you're trading money to get more time, to buy back some of your time. So instead of you being the one that fixes your car, you're paying somebody else to fix your car because your time is much more valuable doing something else. And it's recognizing where at that point in your life are you able to delegate those things. You're able to delegate whether or not you do the repairs on your house, whether or not you cook for yourself, whether you drive yourself to where you go. You start to get into these upper echelons of what you're delegating out because your time becomes that much more valuable. But the way that you know that your time has become that much more valuable is because you actually have the cash flow coming in. You actually have the assets to back it up. And so instead of you focusing on things that are unimportant, right? You're now able to focus on the things that are important and urgent. You got the 4 quadrants. You got urgent, non-urgent, important, non-important. So everything that's urgent and important, that's what you spend your time on. Then you have the important but not urgent. And those are things that you can delegate, right? Then you got the not important but urgent, right? Those are things that you can delegate as well. And then the things that are non-important and non-urgent, you spend your time on. So in these 2 quadrants, right, you're delegating or you're paying somebody else to do it. So for the things that are important but not necessarily urgent, you're able to pay somebody for. And then for the things that are urgent and important, you pay somebody else to go do. When you start getting into that level where you're able to make those kinds of decisions, life looks differently, and you stop focusing on petty stuff. And I think for the Black community, where we get messed up is that the people that we see that have money are usually artists and entertainers, and those are folks that display their flaws in the worst of fashions. And so we think that these people are smart with their money because they have money, but no, what it is, they've been given a lot of money and may not necessarily, they just have guardrails around their money. We just don't have a real concept of what real money looks like. I remember the first time that I ever held $100,000 or $200,000 check. I was like 15 or 16. And I was like, yo, this is different. The first time that I negotiated $1 million deal, I was in my late 20s. Right. Going up into these different echelons of trying to move from being in the working class to being part of the capital class. And trust me, it is a challenge. It is a challenge because you're making the right moves, you're making the right steps, and you're trying to keep your mind focused on only the things that actually matter instead of all the other stuff that doesn't matter.